Okay, so this is going to be a little different of a video. It's pretty early, it's like 4 a.m., but I can't sleep. Well, truthfully, I was watching a TV show anyway, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna boil some water, I'm gonna heat up some food. In the meantime, I want to record this video while the water is boiling. And for this video, I wanted to talk about basically what would I do if I won the lottery? Or what do you think someone would do if they won the lottery? And I think I'm going to propose a sort of slightly untraditional answer because I think that most people, when they win the lottery, or like a lot of people when they think about a hypothetical of like what would happen if I won the lottery? What would I do if I won the lottery? They're like, I would buy all this shit, new house, new car, new clothes, go on vacation, shopping spree, pay off all of my loans, whatever. That's sort of what everyone thinks about. And I've been thinking about this for a little bit to myself. My throat hurts a little bit, so my voice may be a little in and out. But I've been thinking about this, and the reason why I've been thinking about this is I've thought about it. And in the past, if you asked me, like, I don't know, 10 years ago when I was like 14, 15, would I want to win the lottery? I would have said no. And I would have said no, and I would have said no because I would have been like, well, I wouldn't want to win the lottery because it's going to make me lazy. I wouldn't want to win the lottery because I'm not going to do anything. I wouldn't want to win the lottery because I didn't earn it. I just won it. Whereas if you ask me today, 10 years later, I would say, hell yeah, I want to win the lottery. But I'm going to give you an untraditional response for how I would spend the money. One, I don't think my lifestyle would change with winning the lottery, even if I could afford to live the highest, wealthiest lifestyle possible, or up there. And I think that I would live my lifestyle probably in the upper middle class lifestyle. That's what I think. Two, I don't think I would buy a car. I think I would rent a car. I would buy a house, but I would rent a car. Three, I would still want a job, even if it's just working at like a restaurant part-time or making YouTube videos or being someone's personal assistant or working in software or working freelance or having an e-commerce store or something. I'd still want to have a job. And the first one sounds really weird because a lot of people are like, well, if you won the lottery and you won like $90 million, you won $200 million, like you could upgrade your lifestyle. Why would you just live an upper middle class lifestyle? Why would you live a middle class lifestyle? And a huge reason why I would live a middle class lifestyle is that I would want to keep as much wealth as possible. Basically, save as much money as possible within reason because I'd want to enjoy myself. But I want to save most of the money and save most of the money so that I could just live the rest of my life without needing to have a job. So that was part of the reason. The second reason why I wouldn't upgrade my lifestyle substantially is that I just wouldn't want to lose all the money. There's been statistics that a lot of people who have basically won the lottery and they basically years later go broke again because they just upgrade their lifestyle in such a way that's unsustainable. Whereas if I just live within the expectation of just living a middle class lifestyle for the rest of my life and not needing to work, I wouldn't run out of money. And the last reason is that I don't think I need it. And when I say I don't think I need it, I mean, I've gone to the thrift store and I've bought clothes from the thrift store. But then I have also bought like, $200 pair of shoes. So basically, I don't think I would change my lifestyle substantially. I would just live an upper middle class lifestyle. And so that's one thing. I would live an upper middle class lifestyle, which is an upgrade to my lifestyle right now, but not substantially. Like I would still buy a relatively affordable car. The other thing was that I wouldn't buy a car, I would rent a car. And that one is slightly unrelated to how I would live my life if I won the lottery, but that's more personally just because growing up I always had used cars, and since I always had used cars, there would always be these like unforeseen maintenance costs just because like I didn't know because someone else owned the car and they drove it, and then that was just a huge stressor for me. So that's the reason for that. But also because cars depreciate so much, well, that's actually unrelated. That's actually a reason to own a car instead of rent a car. But basically I would just rent a car for 3 years and then rent a new car for 3 years, and that's probably how I would handle that. And then the third thing was I'd still want to have a job. And I think for me, a huge reason why I'd want to have a job still, even if it's just a non-prestigious job and non-exciting job is because I think in our society with sort of very heteronormative gender roles, men are expected to work and women are expected to be hot. Men are expected to take care of everything and women are expected to sort of be this sort of sex object. And I think for me to not feel like I'm being objectified all the time and to feel that I bring something to the table aside from my appearances, that I would need to work or in some way utilize my intellectual capabilities. And I think for myself, growing up, I didn't realize that I was attractive. And it wasn't until later on that people were like, you're actually pretty attractive. And I think for me, how that made me perceive things, in addition to my parents telling me that the most important thing was being smart, was that I always valued intelligence the most. And so for me, I don't think I could ever properly be a housewife or properly be a trophy wife, or even if I won the lottery, I'd still want some sort of work, because I need to sort of feel fulfilled in that sort of intellectual or mental sense. You know, for me, I think part of my self-identity is knowing that I'm intelligent. Part of my self-identity is knowing that I'm an athlete. Part of my self-identity is knowing that I'm creative and cultured and know a lot about art. Another part of my identity is that I'm funny and I have really dry humor and I'm very witty. Part of my identity is that I'm, really into fitness. I kind of already said that one. But nowhere in there is my identity, self-identity associated with being attractive. And I think for me, that's meaningful to me because in our society where women are taught that the thing that they bring to the table is being hot, whereas for me, I think that women are so much more complex than that, and they could be so much more complex than that if society allowed them to be. That I don't want to ever view myself as bringing to the table my body. The thing I bring to the table is my intelligence, my personality, my intelligence, my personality, my I'm just repeating myself, my charm. Sort of things that are not physical. So this is going to be basically a little short video about how I think I would spend my lottery winnings. But it's also a video into how to avoid the sort of patriarchal trap that the only value a woman brings to society is her appearance. And I think for me, to avoid the trap that the only value I bring to society is my appearance, is by sort of engaging qualities of myself that are completely irrelevant to my appearance. Like hobbies and interests that I have, like looking into self-flying planes. That's an interest that I have right now. Or humor, like action comedies and sort of honing my jokes, things like that. Or my personality in terms of different characteristics of myself that you can kind of see in the way that I speak to people or the way that I interact with people. I'm very empathetic and I'm very kind and I'm very generous, very altruistic, things like that. And I think for me it's important that even if I won the lottery, that I would still have a job because, when I was a kid, I'm really happy that I was raised in a very stereotypical Asian family. And there's a downside to that, but I'm going to talk about that not in this video, a different video. But I'm really happy that I was raised in a very stereotypical Asian family, and I'm really, really happy that I was raised in a very, very stereotypical Asian family because I was taught that it was important for me to be smart. Never in the dialogue was I taught that it was important for me to be hot. And it's important because when you think about it, if the only thing a woman brings to society is her appearance, her sort of longevity in society, dramatically goes downhill after her 20s. Whereas if you teach a lady that her contribution to society is beyond her appearance and much more complex than her appearance, then you're teaching her that her longevity in society is sort of infinite. And I think by teaching women that their contribution to society is their appearance, you're sort of diminishing or kind of putting them in a box of what they're potentially capable of. And I know this started out as a video about how I would spend my money if I won the lottery, and this sort of became a video of feminism and patriarchy and things like that. But I think it's important for women to know that their subconscious programming of how society talks to them really influences who they are and who they become. And I think if I was raised in a different household where instead of my parents told me it was important to be smart, they told me it was important to keep up appearances and to be hot, I probably would have tried to become a model instead of tried to become a product manager in software. Sort of little things like that. So my food's done. I'm going to sign off, but have a good day.